Well, that gospel is somehow much more than a reading, isn't it? It's an experience, really, just to listen to it and be part of it. And it's hard to know what to say after it, so I will be brief. But here we are, beginning Holy Week. Here we are with the Church throughout the world, with our new Pope, with those preparing for the sacraments of initiation, going up to Jerusalem. And the liturgy opens up pathway after pathway for us. The prayers, the readings, the ceremonies, or they're like links on a computer. Through them we can access Easter. And then Easter comes to us. And this is what we want. We want to meet Christ this week. Christ crucified and risen. We want to open ourselves to the power of his cross and resurrection. We want to let these into our own lives, into our world. We want Christ to become more real for us. And he will, because the liturgy works. Well, Jesus' Holy Week, as we heard at the beginning of this Mass, began on the back of a donkey. It was a young donkey, a colt, and its mother would have been trotting alongside. Christ goes into Jerusalem on the back of a donkey. Well, why should that be? There was a message there. It was a fulfillment of prophecy, an ancient Jewish prophecy found in the book of Zechariah, chapter 9. Shout with gladness, daughter of Jerusalem. See now, your king comes to you. He is victorious. He is triumphant, humble, and riding on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey. So yes, here comes the true King. Here comes the Messiah. But why should the Messiah ride a donkey? Well, if Jesus had ridden a horse, it would have been a sign of pride and of war. But donkeys weren't used at war. They were used for work. And Jesus is the Prince of Peace, and he is humble and not proud. Well, can we take that a little further? Here is Jesus about to let his enemies get the better of him, and finally crucify him. Here is Jesus, from every human point of view, about to make an ass of himself. That's what the disciples thought, and that's what we would have thought if we'd been there, and it's what we would have said. Jesus, you're making an ass of yourself. And as a matter of fact, there's a very ancient anti-Christian graffiti from somewhere in the Roman world, I don't know where, but showing Jesus on the cross with the head of a donkey. What an ass to get himself crucified. So the donkey is Jesus himself, and the donkey is the kind of disciple he wants. Now, the donkey is a notoriously stubborn animal, liable to get a lot of stick, not very beautiful, and easy to laugh at. Well, maybe you know Chesterton's poem on behalf of the donkey. With monstrous head and sickening cry, and ears like errant wings, the devil's walking parody on all four-footed things, the tattered outlaw of the earth, of ancient crooked will, starve, scourge, deride me, I am done, I keep my secret still. And the donkey's secret is that one Palm Sunday, God incarnate rode him into Jerusalem. Well, the Church has made something of an ass of herself of late, but Christ still rides her, and he rides us, donkeys as we are. So we can really take this donkey and try to be a donkey for Christ. Christ is always entering Jerusalem. He is always coming to die and to rise for us. And he always needs donkey. And each of us is a donkey prepared from all eternity for Christ to ride on. The Greek word for a donkey comes from the word for useful. Donkey is onos in Greek, and that's very close to the Greek word for useful. We need to be ready to be stubborn for Jesus, just like a donkey. We need to be ready to be laughed at for him. But what donkeys have done superbly, time out of mind, is carry things, heavy things, burdens, uphill, downhill, mile after mile. So let's be Christ's donkeys. Let's go on, head down, stubbornly, day after day, carrying on our backs the blessed weight of Christ, of faith, of loyalty, because the one we are carrying is the one who wins, the one who leads us through his cross and resurrection to the heavenly Jerusalem.